Cowboys friends, family, and all you in between. What's going on? It's your boy Fitz the King, drummer, producer, DJ, and right now I'm here to talk some Cowboys. This is the OTA Week 2 recap, or the second session of OTAs. I think we have one more, then we go on our break. Thank you for growing with me. You guys, a lot of you guys have been here since I started doing Cowboys coverage, last year's draft. And the channel's growing. I appreciate every subscriber. It means the world to me. And we're doing different things. I'm doing different things. I'm linking up with Cowboys YouTubers like my man Joe Rod. And we're doing a Cowboys huddle once a week. We're going to keep them all on his page. So what we're going to do is we're going to take questions and leave the questions under the comments. And that's what we've been doing. We've been answering them. Joe Rod does amazing work. He's over at Cowboys blog. So go follow him. Amazing YouTuber. And shout out to all the YouTubers. Shango. Mark Holmes is a good one. Law Nation. All of them. Man, it's just different content. People just doing different things. And I really appreciate it. I appreciate what we all bring to the table. It's just good community of Cowboys fans who choose to think differently. And that's kind of like what I bring to this table. So, OTAs Week 2. A couple of my thoughts. It's a couple topics that I want to hit. I wrote a bunch of notes down and just kind of how I feel about things. You know, Dez speaks. I've been reading that Switzer's been making plays. Dak has some words that I'll get into and dissect. And just, you know, a bunch of different things. I'm hearing good things coming out of the side of Charles Tapper. Obviously, Stephen Jones had a lot to say about Jaylon Smith. So it's just a bunch of things that are coming out of the Cowboys camp. And it's just going to be a bunch of, you know, things for us to watch heading into training camp. You obviously had the Nolan Carroll situation. That's going to be a situation to watch because now one of these rookies really have a chance to step up and maybe earn a starting role. Anthony Brown's out there making plays from what I'm reading and hearing. So all of these things. So the first thing I want to get into is I was reading Brian Broaddus' report, was scouring the internet for some other things because they don't let the Cowboys do OTAs live or training camp live anymore. Apparently it gave a competitive advantage to teams. So with that being said, and whether they let us do it or whether they let teams do the OTA live or the Cowboys, whoever, if you know what you know how a guy can be used, then it's a fact that if you believe it and you hear what Brian is writing, then it obviously will make sense. And the facts remain that Ryan Switzer was brought in with the plan. I said it on the Cowboys huddle. I'll say it again. Scott Linehan doesn't mince words. So when he says things like, you know, Cole Beasley and Switzer could be on the field at the same time, I believe it. When he says things like, you know, Switzer looks shifty out there. He looks like he's catching the ball well. He's not confused. That means a whole lot. Not to mention Lucky Whitehead is hurt. He has a hamstring deal and Cole Beasley has a hamstring deal. Well, guess what? If they're hurt, that's a perfect opportunity for Ryan Switzer to step up, to gain reps, to gain comfortability, to gain a comfort zone with Dak. And Dak even called him, transition to Dak. Dak called him quarterback friendly. He said that about two people, him and Rico. But back to Ryan Switzer, him and Cole Beasley on the field together. Well, what that means is, and four wides, and you're hearing he's doing all these things. What does that mean? Somebody has to come off the field. Could they go 5-0 linemen, 4 wide? Could they, you know, who's gonna come off? Who's gonna be an odd man out? And this will bring me to a stance rather that Cowboys fans, you just might not like it. You might not like how I feel about this situation, but I felt like this for a while. I sometimes feel that Jason Witten is a progress stopper. In the last 2 years, we've just seen a decline in production. Go look at the numbers. You know, the penalties come up, the holdings, the offsides. And you just, you know, Anthony Fasano was here, decent player. Martellus Bennett, really good player, but he has some other things. But you obviously see he's still in the league, still making plays, still doing his thing. Just signed with Green Bay. But it's been a ton of tight ends, Gavin Escobar. We've never really been able to develop one. So will the Cowboys sacrifice Witten's reps to get a more explosive player like a Ryan Switzer on the field who can really help you after the catch, who's really a threat in the passing game, both underneath and down the field? Ryan Switzer can do a lot of things down the field and after the catch. It's something that the Cowboys are going to have to ask themselves, because with our defense being so young at a lot of key positions, secondary especially, Dallas is going to have to come out like, the Cowboys' mindset is going to have to be put up 30 every game, period. With Zeke, with Switzer, with Cole, with Dez. We saw last year Dez and Dak's rapport really became locked in, even in the Green Bay game, because the way Dak plays quarterback, he doesn't force the ball to any receivers. Like Tony would go in games, Witten and Dez are going to get their looks and their touches. Sprinkle in some Cole and Terrence will get a look. Dak, find the open man. He's a pick your poison, very Tom Brady-esque. I'm not saying he's Tom Brady, but he's very, the ball will go where it's supposed to go. But then you saw him in the Green Bay game. Dez had a favorable matchup, and he forced the ball to Dez, and it worked, and it almost got us to that win if it wasn't for an Aaron Rodgers basically luck play, but whatever. So my point is Dez is still in his prime, so we have to maximize that. So who's moving out of their prime, and to me is already out of their prime 100% is Jason Witten. So who's going to come off the field? Well, in a 5 O-lineman set, if you have 4 receivers, I'm gonna keep Terrence Williams in the game for his blocking. Maybe he can come in motion, maybe crack back. I want Switzer on the field, and you're gonna have to sacrifice reps and plays for Jason Witten. I love Jason Witten. I met the guy. He's all-time Mr. Cowboy, but it's gonna be a time, just like we had to move on from Romo, there's gonna be a time when we have to move on from Jason Witten. That's just my thoughts in a vacuum. So that's how you get Ryan Switzer on the field. Somebody has to come off. You're not gonna sacrifice Cole's reps. So just think about that, Cowboys fans. Rico Gathers, I'm hearing a lot of good things about Rico Gathers from the horse's mouth. Dak again saying that Rico was very quarterback friendly. Now the thing about Rico is going to be just the football mentality. Can he block in line? Can he at least get in the way where they use maybe Jeff Swain, Hannah as their blocking tight ends and use Rico as a passing threat? Because all you heard, even on the practice squad, him and Tony Romo, they were making plays against our starters. They just couldn't guard Rico. So the Cowboys had a plan. They developed this kid, and I'm really liking what I hear. Let me know what you guys think about Rico, because everything that I see, even him dunking the ball with that explosiveness, he could really be something, and he's really, really developing well against Jason. Behind Jason. So let's see what happens. Dez spoke, and Dez speaking, I'm starting to see that just maturity in year 9 for him, that you could tell Dez knows that the time is ticking on his career, and he's all in, and it was extremely encouraging to see him say, Josh Norman, threw a bunch of shots at guys in the NFC East, and Dez just, he'll see me when he sees me, and I like to hear that from Dez, because at the end of the day, playing receiver and having, you don't throw the ball to yourself. So he realized that this is a team game. Teams go into a mentality. They go into games with a mentality like the Cowboys to run the ball, so he may not get a bunch of looks. So, of course, it's going to look like Josh Norman, quote-unquote, shut him down or whatever if Dez doesn't get the ball thrown to him a lot. The fact is, Dez looks focused. He sounds focused. He's speaking up the corners. He said that the corners are doing good. They're playing aggressive. They're not being punks. Like he said, don't get in front of me acting like suckers. And that's what I like about Dez. He's going to keep it real, and I want him to keep that edge. Once he loses that edge, you pretty much know that Dez's time as a great receiver is over. He still has that edge. That's what I like. And just, I guess we'll close it out with what Stephen Jones has constantly said about Jaylon Smith. He believes that Jaylon Smith is going to be a difference maker. These are his words. Well, when Steven speaks, I listen. Jerry, he likes to throw all sorts of stuff. He's shooting for the fences. But when it comes to Stephen Jones, who eventually will take over this team, he's a very straight shooter. He's a lot like Will McClay. He trusts Will McClay a lot. And the fact of the matter is they are extremely sold on Jaylon Smith. So let's see what happens. Listen, Cowboys fans, it's a lot. It's a lot to get ready for. It's a lot to look forward to. Let me know what you guys think on all of these topics. These are my thoughts. This is what I feel, and just what you're hearing out of OTAs and what you see, and how we're going to be able to just be a great team and continue to stay young, but continue to compete at a high level. It's your boy, Firestly King. Like, share, subscribe. Cowboys Huddle next week. Make sure you go check out Joe Rod's page. I am gone. Peace.